Okay, so the topic we have before us is climbing the tech ladder. I'll just be sharing some tips for success in the tech industry. I'm aware there are different categories of people on this call. We have the senior devs, the mid-level devs, maybe the beginners, or people that are not even in tech in quotes. So my goal in this short time is just to see how I can just share some of my experience and see how it can help some of us to actually scale high in our tech journey. All right. So a little bit about me. Um, I'm coming. So my name is Michael, as you all know. I currently work as solutions architect and tech lead at Adover PLC. So the fun part is that I've been working in tech almost all my life. So um, it's funny because the topic is tech, and I've been working in tech almost from after I graduated from is this secondary school. I've just been working in tech almost all my life, even though I started as a graphic designer, typist, and everything. So it's still tech, whether I like it or yes, because I use, computers to solve problem, or I solve problem generally using my skill set. So yeah, a little bit about me also is that I've worked in Zenith Bank before. We worked on the global payment platform. Actually, it was a revamp. So I worked briefly with them before I left to where I currently work. So I've also worked at UBA groups, and I've worked at K Solution, the organizer of this program. KK Solution is just like the bedrock of some of the things I know in my tech journey. Because I've been curious before joining K Solution. Just get K Solution within the shortest period of time. I was able to learn a lot. It felt like I've been working for like 10 years. Just within that short time, I worked at K Solution. So yeah, that's all about me. So these are the things we'll be discussing today. The first thing we'll have is what is tech really, and second thing, climbing with purpose, stay sharp, stay relevant, and growth principles. So little bit of disclaimer, I'm not talking like somebody that has arrived. I'm somewhere in the ladder. I'm somewhere in the ladder. I'm not sure. I'll say I have seen it all. I'm still growing. I'm still trying to climb the ladder as fast as I can. So I'm just sharing the experience I've garnered over the course of the years that I've been opportune to work actually. So don't see me like somebody that has reached that maximum height and is trying to show you that this and that. No, I'm just sharing as a fellow pilgrimage in this journey of climbing the tech ladder. Let's get to it now. So what is tech really? Most times when you talk about tech, what comes to people's mind is coding. In fact, you see people saying tech bros, tech this, tech sis, everything that is in their mind most times is all about coding, programming. That's the only thing they know about tech. But you know the truth, tech is not about just coding alone. The simple meaning of tech, I hope you know also that tech is just a short form of technology actually, or something about technical. So the simple definition of tech is just about solving problems at scale across sectors. Actually, that's just the simple meaning of tech. It's just your ability to be able to solve problem, just solve a problem. You are bringing technology into it. You are using your knowledge to create tools and systems to solve a particular problem. You are doing tech already, especially when you now use maybe computer or use electronic means to achieve that. So you are doing tech already. It doesn't have to be coding actually. So just want to start on that basis so we can be on the same page about what is tech really. So there are some myths and reality. I've stated one already that a lot of people think tech is equal to coding only. It's not true. It is creating solutions in diverse role. And the other one also about tech is that tech bros have money and all these things. In fact, the first thing that comes to people's mind about tech, in this part of the world, once you say you're a tech person, the first thing that comes to their mind, this guy is making a lot of money, and they begin to, expect some kind of things from you. But the reality is that you can be in tech for 10 years. I may not even have the money people think you have if time and chance does not actually happen to you. So the reality of tech is easy money is not true. So what tech is really is your skills, plus time plus consistency, which leads to opportunity. So sometimes you can have the skill, but have commit the years, maybe 5 years, 6 years, 7 years, and you might even be consistent, but the opportunity might actually be your major problem, right? So tech is not easy money. Tech, in fact, sometimes I say tech money is like blood money, actually. Blood money, because it takes all, it takes over almost all your being, all your brain, all your, in fact, all your time. Sometimes you just feel like you don't even have a life sometimes, depending on the kind of problem you're solving. I remember Mr. Kenny sharing that there was a time, there was a project he did some years back that just be thanking my wife for that project because I barely wasn't available. I slept in office, configuring Solaris, OS, and all those stuff. So tech is just, it's just not easy money, actually. So if any tech bros on this call gives you 5 naira, just appreciate the person as if he has given you 5 million, because it's giving you like his life. All right. So let's move on. So there are some overlooked tech roles that people don't actually focus on. Most times we just think about software development, software development all the time. But there are some other roles that are, that are actually needed, that are very actually lucrative, even more than software engineering sometimes. So, for example, we have product management. The product management is becoming more renowned now than it used to be. So, you have technical writing. If you are very good in writing and documentations, a lot of companies need people that will document things for them. Product documentation, different type of documentations. Once you are good in technical writings, there are so many technical documentations, business requirement document, different kind of document, technical document, test plan, different plans. So these are areas that people also need to look at. It doesn't necessarily have to be software development all the time. So we have QA and testing. That's quality assurance. You can test applications to be sure that they meet specifications. So there are so many things around that period. So we are also no code and low code tools. Like there are there's Bubble. There are different products that can do that. In Microsoft Word, we have Power Apps. You don't have to actually write code with these no code tools, though they call it no code, low code tools. Though most times some of them are drag and drop, but you might need to write maybe some simple code that will power them to work, but not as deep as actually writing like a real software programming language, actually. So we also have roles like accessibility specialists, people that ensure that different type of people have access to your tech product. For example, somebody that have disability is able to use your application. Maybe somebody is blind is able to use your application. Somebody is disabled in one part of their body, should be able to use your application. So you can delve into this area and become an expert there. That if all the tech people have built their application and they are boasting that the application is fine, to come and just scan the application and say this application does not cover some range of people. So can you implement this? Can you implement that? And trust me, if you establish yourself as an expert in this area, there's a lot of market for it, both within and outside Nigeria, especially abroad where all these laws and some of these policies are very strong. And the last thing I have, apart from several other things, is ed tech and training. There are some guys online that you see them when there's a new tech tool, around. Their goal is just to come and train people on how to use it. You don't have to like spend your life writing code to build products and all those things. You can just be a trainer. You can just have that skill of reading up documentation, then build one small stuff and just teach people how to do it. Doesn't even have to be something about building. It can be a knowledge that some people don't even know. For example, this ChatGPT knowledge. There are some people that are just catching out by just going there and teaching people how to write prompts. There are people that are just catching out by teaching people how to generate maybe small animation here and there. Just you don't tech doesn't have to be software development. So that's the summary of what I'm trying to establish by this first part of my talk about what is tech actually. So let's move forward. So the next point we will dealing with is climbing the tech ladder with purpose. So the first thing you have to actually address is you have to choose a path. You can't know everything at the beginning. You have to determine that, okay, for this stage of my life, I want to do well, let's say you have a goal. I want to be a full stack developer, but you have to start from somewhere, right? You can say I want to start from front end. I will actually advise that you start from front end, so that by the time you go back to front, the back end, you can appreciate what is happening on the front end more, and you can relate more with front end developers better. So I would advise that you choose a path. If it is graphic designing or UI UX you want to be, you can start with graphic design and say, okay, let me start with graphic design. Let me explore this design deeply and spend like 1 or 2 or 3 years and do this design and explore everything explorable, deliver value in that part. The most important thing is that you have to choose a path. You can't just be doing everything and say, okay, I'm graphic designer today, I'm UI UX tomorrow, I am software developer next tomorrow. If you are doing that, you're just confusing yourself and you will never climb any ladder. You just be stuck in the same spot. So the first thing you have to do is that you will have to choose a path. And the next thing that I've seen actually is issue of solving problems. So most times we have conversations with some colleagues in the office, maybe outside the office, and they say the tech world is so saturated, blah blah blah. They keep making us that there's no room for me, there's no this for me. Even the skills I know, I don't even feel like I can get a job or something. I say no. From my own little experience, what I've noticed is that there are a lot of shallow people everywhere. You see some people online just come to make noise, make noise, make noise. But if you actually shake them a bit, they've not solved any real serious problem in their life, and they're just parading themselves as established this, established that, and all the stuff. I'm not trying to wash them down. I'm just trying to tell you that a lot of people are shallow. So if you are starting out, be willing to have this mindset that what is the hardest problem I can solve that will actually make me to be relevant. Stop doing simple projects that you're comfortable with, crowd here and there. Think of a problem, or just go online and Google problem, intermediate problem, advanced problem. Try to solve hard problem. So when you solve a hard problem, what it does to you is that it stretches you and it makes you to become more confident that you can face any other problem that is given to you. But when you don't tackle hard problems and you're just comfortable at your comfort zone, you may never have to climb any real heights, because what most companies are looking for is to pay you for solving those harder problems. So the next point we have is silence self-doubt. I think I've suffered from this a lot. So there's something called imposter syndrome. Most software developers, especially, I'm talking to a broad audience, but I'm just narrowing down to software developers. They have this mindset that they are not good enough all the time. But over the course of the years, I've come to realize that there's never a time that you ever feel like you are ready or you are good enough. There's never a time. So the best thing is that you have to silence all those self-limiting thoughts in your mind. You have to ensure that you talk yourself out of those things that make you feel like you're not good enough. If you have worked on a very solid project, maybe 1 or 2 or 3 projects in the past, trust me, that company that I want to apply to, that you're scared that if I get there I will not perform. The same way you adapt in that one, you will adapt in the other one. The only thing is just for you to have a positive outlook to life. Stop bringing down yourself through words like I'm not good enough, I am not this, I'm not that. Just get rid of everything that makes you feel like you are not good enough. No, that little you'll be so shocked that somebody that does not even know up to that little, because of that positive outlook to life, they are able to get better opportunities and climb this test faster than you that are just there. They're just saying, no, 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 I'm not good enough. So please silence every self doubt. I suffered from this a lot, but like got exposed to a lot of things. And I saw some people that are not even up to the knowledge I have, getting better opportunities and earning better money. And I say, wow, so I've been shortchanging myself all along. So please, let's silence self doubts as either a developer, either graphic, whatever tech role that you're actually doing. Silence self doubts. So the next one we're talking about is take smart risk. I'll tell you a story. So some years back, I think around 2020, I can't remember specifically when, I saw a job online with a all this real estate company. So they're looking for IT person, and I read through all the job requirements, and I saw that I have like 50% knowledge of what is there, and the rest of the things I don't have idea because I've never do anything of such. You know what I did that time? I just said no. I'm going to try and apply for this job, and I did, and I applied, and I was surprised that I was called for an interview. So when I went for the interview, and we all gathered, all the candidates were very plenty. Like I think we are more than 12. So we're gathered in like the reception area. They keep calling us one after the other. So we got talking with some guys. There's one guy that just came and said, "There's nothing here. I've done all these things before. I've done all these things." As the guy was saying it, I was just feeling like, wait, are you sure I will scale through this interview? Because it looks like all these things that he's mentioning, I don't know anything about it. But I said, no, I'm going to try my best. And I went into the interview room, and somehow, I did well in a way because the person was asking me questions and I was answering them. Anyone he asked me that I don't know, I'll say, I'm sorry, I've never done this before, but I can learn it actually. So the long and short of the story is that at the end of the whole interview, it was just a lady and I that were shortlisted for the job, and we were the one that have been considered for that role. So I just felt that I shouldn't be afraid of taking risk. Once I know that in a job requirement, I have some percentage of knowledge about some things, I'm going to apply. I don't even I don't need to lie about my skill set. I will just state what I know and what I can learn during the interview. And you can be surprised that maybe that's what the company is actually looking out for people that are bold and confident to actually, get out there. So the last thing in this place that we're talking about is commit to lifelong learning. So if you must climb your tech ladder, you have to be a lifelong learner. There's no there's no fancy of you saying that I've learned this thing, I don't need to learn this. So one thing about tech world, be it graphic design, be it digital marketing, be it whatever part of tech, there's always new knowledge coming up every day. Just like the AI that we were talking about earlier, there's always something new coming out. Mind you, AI has been existing since 1950s, 1940 something, but you can imagine since then till now, we have a lot of new knowledge coming out, new research, new possibilities coming up. So if you're the type that is so relaxed and not curious, I'm sorry, you will never climb anywhere. You'll just be at the base of the ladder while people are just moving on. So you have to have that mindset of learning every day. So that's all about climbing with purpose. So let's move to the next point. Am I too fast? Am I too slow? Please, I need response. It should not be that I'm just trying to rush everybody out of here. So give me your response. Am I too fast? Am I too slow?
You are going well, sir.
All right. So thanks for the feedback. So the next point we have here is stay sharp and stay relevant. I've mentioned it in the last session, and I'm just reiterating them. So you have to learn continuously. You have to learn trends. You have to learn tools. You have to learn principles. You just have to be a curious bird and update your knowledge continuously. You have to tinker with things. When you hear of something new that you have never heard about, just go and Google about it, try and read more about it, try and play with it and see if it's tickle your fancy and all those, right? So the next thing is you should follow people that are thinkers, not just trends.
That
You know,
was
the
what I.
greatest the greatest issue that we have in our day and time is we like trends so much. There are so many trends, especially if you go on TikTok. I'm not on TikTok. I'm planning to be there very soon. But especially if you go on TikTok, you see trends every day. So except it's a good trend that is helping you to learn something new that is adding value to you, then I don't think you need to be part of the bad wagon that just join trends for no reason. Rather, I would advise you that you should follow thinkers online, follow accounts online that post things that are educative, things that you learn, things that you share value. And when you learn all those things and you go out to talk somewhere, they'll say, wow, this guy is loaded. So follow thinkers, don't just follow trends. So the next thing about staying sharp and staying relevant is that I've mentioned it before, tech evolve so fast. So you too should be evolving every day. Don't be the same version of market that was known before. Like the version of me that was in Zenith is not the version of me that is currently where I am now. A lot of things have changed about me. Like I evolve as time evolve, and in the next few months, in the next few years, if you meet me again, I'm evolving as my environment evolves also. So that's about that. So the last thing I'll talk about is avoid the shiny object syndrome. Do not be afraid of committing time to actually learning. A lot of us just want to learn tech in 2 or 3 months and blow. But no, it doesn't work that way. Life is about process. If you commit, time for you to actually master a things, it means that you have committed so much time, to learning that thing. So do not hurry yourself. just ensure that you pay your dues. The word, pay the dues. Commit time to whatever you are doing. Don't be a shallow learner. Don't be a shallow kind of person. Be somebody that is interested in knowing the deep things about what you are learning. Ensure that whatever you're doing, if you are called upon to talk about it, even if you don't know the 100%, at least you are maybe somewhere 60, 70%. Ensure that you actually spend time to learn whatever you have decided to learn. So that's that on that. So I have some few growth principles I want to share with us before we wrap up this session. So the first thing that I think is a good mindset to imbibe is that you need to be able to think. You need to be able to think and ask question. How can I make things better? So, for example, anywhere you work, um, ensure that you're a thinker. Don't always think in one direction all the time. And ensure that you think outside the box. What if it can be done this way? What if it can be done this way? I remember one of those days we were working on the telemedicine application with Mr. Kenny. Whenever he implements something on the back end, I worked on the front end. I'll just tell him, I say, what about this? What about this? So sometimes he will reason with me and say, oh yes, you're actually correct. This thing you said, I didn't think about it and all this stuff. So if you must climb ladder, you have to be a thinker, somebody that thinks, about how things can be better all the time. And the next thing also is that you have to learn to solve problems before you are asked to. If you are working anywhere, be it your company or any other company, just ensure that you are a problem solver. You solve problem before you're even asked to. Even before your boss comes to meet you and say, we have this, we have this. Tell them, sir, I'm already thinking about it. I have a document for this. I have a this for this. Be a problem solver. Don't just wait and be instructed all the time. Like, oh, okay, Michael, come on, this, come on, that. No, go a step ahead to solve problem before you're asked to do. So the next thing that will help you to also climb faster is sharing your knowledge. So sharing your knowledge can be that in your team, you share your knowledge with your team members, or online, you blog about some things that you've learned that I think is fascinating. You go on LinkedIn, you go on Medium, or you go on any platform, Ashnode, and just write about what you know that you think will benefit other people. Then the last thing also here is that you should look for blind spots and fill them. Look for blind spots and try to fill. Please, somebody's making us at the background. Can you mute if you're not asking question? Thank you. Okay, so look for blind spots and fill them. So just like we have here, he said the ladder moves for those who move the needle. If you are working in anywhere and you're not, a person of value, actually you will not climb the ladder. Ladder will only move when you are the type that actually makes things, change and makes things move forward. So the next growth principles that we have is to document your learning. You try to document your learning. So some of these principles I'm sharing, some of them I don't practice them extensively. I can say I am an
Sorry,
outlier
Mr.
in a
Mike.
way,
Sorry, Mr. Mike.
right?
Mr. Kisley, please
Okay,
mute your mic.
all right.
Please mute your mic, Mr. Kisley. Mr. Kisley, please
Okay.
mute your mic. You are disrupting. If you can't, okay, all right. Go ahead, Mr.
Are
Michael.
we good now?
Go ahead.
Okay, so the next thing I have here is about documenting your learning. Just the first speaker that spoke, Uncle Bibe, I think I know his journey from how he started to where he gets to now. He's a great guy, actually. There's so many things I learned from him. As I was saying, I'm like an outlier in that area. I don't try to do all those principles. Somehow, I don't know how my own case is different, but it's a good, habit to imbibe about documenting your learning, especially in public. You should document your learning. While I was at Tidal Lab 2020, I think we were forced to write about our learning journey, and it was helpful because you see a lot of people connect with you and all those stuff. And before you know, someone that is interested in what you're doing can actually reach out to you. And I think some of the articles that I wrote also inspire some people to join Tidal Lab then. So it's important that you document your journey at every point you are, because it shows where you're coming from and where you're going through. So build in public, just like I've said also, share progress, not your results. I think I think most of the major issue we have as some people that are perfectionists like me is that you are so curious about the result that you are not, focused on the progress and the process that you are taking. You're just thinking, this is not looking like it the way it should be. Focus on the progress you are making. There's a statement that I don't know how it came to me. I don't know if I read it somewhere, but somehow, I just have this thought in my mind that progress excites. When you make progress, you are excited about what you are doing and you can do more. But when you're not making progress, you will not continue in that path that you're actually going. So share your progress, not just the results that you're having. Of course, if you have one or two results, you can share them, but focus on progress per day than just focus on result. And at the end, you are not actually achieving that result. So the next thing is you should learn to automate small things. Uncle Big Bear has talked about some things you can do, like in the area of solving problem from local, to getting global. So you can look at small things around you, even if it's your personal stuff. Like maybe you want to keep track of your expenses, and you see that the applications that are online are not actually solving the same problem that you're looking for. You can begin to automate some of those things gradually and solve the problem. Then the next thing that I
Yeah, I
think
would.
we all need to imbibe is the act of learning questions when in doubt. So one of the things that I'm known for is I can ask stupid questions, and I'm not even ashamed. I'm not ashamed about it. I remember when I was in my masters, I was in class one day, and the professor was just deriving some formulas. I was just proving group homomorphism, isomorphism. It was just all this abstract maths, and I look at the whole class. I saw that everybody was not connecting. Even me, I wasn't connecting, and
Hello?
I just feel like I need to ask a question to distract this class a bit. So now I raise up my hand. I say, sir, I have a question. So now ask me, what is it? What is the question? I say, sir, this same thing you're proving to us, we did it
Yeah, I will talk
in
about it.
undergraduate, and I don't see the
I'll leave
application
my
of all
mic
these
with you.
things. So why are we doing things that are not applicable? Why can't we do things that are applicable? So the man answers, I say, Michael, we are proving this so we can see gaps. So we can now make research on those gaps. So the whole class was just a bit relieved because I asked a question that make everybody to laugh in a way, but at least I was able to say their mind that we're not actually following. So in a few minutes, the lecturer just quickly ended the class. So learn to ask questions, not just in that kind of scenario I painted, but even when you're in a team and they are speaking all the big grammar and you're not following, learn to ask questions, because if you ask a question and you have understanding, then you're able to do better. But when you don't ask question, you always be stuck. You always, and I think the major reason why many people don't ask questions is because of pride. They don't want people to see them as being foolish. The kind of person I am, I can ask question from anybody. If you like, be the least person in the team, anybody that has access to what I'm looking for, I ask questions. Whenever I'm in doubt, I ask questions. And that has helped me a lot tremendously. The last thing here is be reliable, show up and deliver. So it should not be like that kind of people that are just trying to get everything at the same time. Some people are not reliable because their eyes is not in one place. They are always everywhere, and at the end, you cannot rely on them to deliver tasks. So even in companies, the bosses know who they can give some tasks to. You know, so be that kind of person that when your boss wants to give a task, you know that this person is reliable. He will do everything and he will deliver on that task. So these are the few things I believe that can help us to actually quickly scale the heights. Always show up. Do not just be that person that is here today, tomorrow you are not available, tomorrow you are this, you are that. You're always bringing excuses and complain. Be consistent. If you have issues, learn to speak up and let people know that this person is a reliable person. These are the few things that I believe can help us to actually quickly scale that ladder faster. So the next thing I'm talking about here is networking is key. So one of the key things I like about this networking is not about the online social media networking. Sometimes even your place of work, you have to learn the art of relating with your colleagues well, right? And also ensure that you join community of people. For example, this productive view is a community you can join. Just like Mr. Kenny said, there can be a need for your skill sets in some of the product that they are working on, and they can reach out to you. So the fastest way to grow is networking. I remember I worked for a edtech company, no, health tech company as a freelance developer. I think it was through networking that I got that job. I just have to do it quickly. Even my current role at Adova, it was through speaking to somebody. I just talked to the person that I'm tired of working here. And the person, I met the person while I was working in UBA then, and the person was currently where I currently work. I just spoke to him and he said, "Oh, there's an opening in my office. Oh, can you apply? If you're lucky to get, fine." And I applied, and I was surprised. I scaled through the interview, the first, the second round, and if I know the next round, I was called upon. So it's very good to network if really you scale higher in this tech journey. All right. So the last thing I'm going to say before I end this session is that the hardest thing is not climbing the ladder, but taking the first step in the right direction. And the greatest asset that you actually need in anything you do, be it tech, be it buying and selling, be it whatever, be it any trade that you're doing, greatest assets you actually have or you need is discipline, determination, and consistency. A story of a guy I met that same year 2018, 2019, when I was doing my master's. So I went to a particular office. There was a guy I met, and this guy is a front-end developer in that company. Company is a big company, and I'm surprised. This guy is not brilliant. This guy is not bright. From my conversion, like talking with him, I can't feel that cerebral knowledge. But this guy is working as a senior front end developer, and I asked him. I was curious. I said, "Oga, how did you become front end developer in this company?" He now laughed. His English was not even very pure, and he told me that, "Bros, then I figure out that in this life, if I don't do this tech thing, I'm going to be very, very poor, and there's nothing for me in this life. I have to go and buy courses online. I consumed them. I kept repeating those courses. I kept repeating those courses until I mastered that concept. See, he learned React through that pattern. And when he learned that thing and he understood it very well, that was the beginning of his exploits in that front end world. And the guy is like one of the foremost front end developer in that company. And I now learned a lesson from him that wow, just by being determined and being disciplined and consistent with what he was doing, this guy became so good. So I now learned that this tech thing is not even about being brilliant. It's just about you being disciplined and just be determined that, oh, I must succeed in what I have laid my hands to do. Right. So with this few points of mine and this story that I've said and several other story, I'm just trying to tell you that it's possible for you to actually go from level 1 to level 2, depending on your commitment and depending on your determination to actually reach there. So thank you all for listening to my tech talk. I hope you have learned one or two things. So this is time for question and answer. Thank you so much. You can connect with
Thank
me
you.
on LinkedIn,
Yeah.
Twitter. All right.
All right. Thank you, Mr. Michael. Yeah, you're indeed loaded, though. I must say, you're loaded. Wow. The hardest thing is not climbing, but taking the first step in the right direction. Man, this really stood out for me. And I'm taking this home. Yeah. Thank you very much, sir. We
Thank you
appreciate it.
too.
Yeah, it's time for question and answer. Auntie, I think I have a question for you. So,
All right.
yes. So, uh, there's this place you said commit to lifelong learning, right? So, in a situation where you are learning and learning, and as you are learning, technology is changing. We know that, right? And companies are transitioning into the new technology. So, how do you still handle the long time learning? First, the first one that you are learning, has not even put food on your table, and that technology has changed, and companies has transitioned into a new technology, and you still have to learn that new one. So, how do you handle such situation?
Okay. So while talking, there was a part I talk about tech evolves. So you also have to evolve, right? So the use case you're trying to paint is that you're trying to learn something now, and before you finish learning it, another thing has come out that is not in vogue again. But the truth is that it's not like that in real life for me. So, for example, now there is a buzz about AI everywhere. But the truth is that some of this base coding knowledge is still relevant for the next 1 or 2 or 3 years before AI maybe take over. We don't know when AI is going to take over. So, for example, how how I do that for myself is that I go online. For example, I'm on Turing. I don't know if you know Turing platform. I just check the kind of jobs that they're actually looking out for sometimes. I just try to learn things relative to that part. So the summary of the answer for me is that whatever you are learning, it has its own application somewhere, whether you like it or yes. Even if it's HTML, CSS. Um, Recently, I was opportune to do a short gig with Turing on LLM training. You know, despite the fact that there is so much noise about AI, they still need your skill set as a JavaScript developer to be able to train that AI. So it's not everything that you are learning that is actually useless. Even if it's eventually not being used, it has helped you to actually stretch your mind so that you can learn the new things that is actually coming. So what I would advise is that whatever you're learning, keep learning it. And if you, for some reason, you discover that what is trending is not actually in line with what you're learning, you may actually ask maybe your mentors in that field and ask, please, can you guide me on what to do next? Because it's like I'm confused at this point. I don't even know what to stick to. I think having a mentor can actually guide you, either to stick to it or to pivot to another thing that will actually help you to be relevant in the market. I don't know if I answered it correctly, but we have Mr. Kenny, we have some other people here that can actually throw more light to that question. Thank you.
All right, thank you, sir. So I don't know if anybody want to chip in something to the question, or if anyone has a question to
Okay,
ask.
because of time, as people are booting up to ask their questions, so that we don't keep us here. Thank you, Mr. Michael, for that wonderful session. It was really, really wonderful, and thanks for the time that you put into putting that slides together.
Thank you.
It's high quality. So the answer was, straightforward. I think it was a perfect answer that you gave, and the fact that I think we had that conversation before, Mr. Chidi. We talk about you have not even finished learning one, another one has come out, something like that. So one thing that I think is key is that we need to first of all know what you are learning, know the technology that you're learning before you start learning it. There has to be some analysis that you would do before you start, and you know that this technology you're learning is not going it's not going it won't go away. It won't go away. For instance, HTML CSS will not go away. It will not. No, you can come up with any other technology. It would be part of it. HTML CSS, whatever React you are doing, you are just doing JavaScript. So, and again, you have to also be careful of to people you listen to. There's a project that we're doing recently, and we're presenting to those guys. Those guys, they said they are the tech guys, and I think in one project we're using Java, in the other project we're using C Sharp. And I think I heard it from that guy. Last year I heard it. This year I heard it again. And the guy was saying that why using C Sharp? Why not modern technology like Node.js? Why obsolete technology like Java or C Sharp? So you don't want to tell him that he doesn't know what he's talking about, straight up. But you have to tell him respectively that, sir, you don't know what you are saying. So the fact that you have a lot of young guys that know nothing about C Sharp or know nothing about Java does not place Node.js over this thing. People are just looking at the easiest technologies they can learn, and that's why they got into Node. And they were doing it, and then you have a lot of young guys now. No, they don't know about the core based technology. Uh, so it doesn't mean that Node has any edge over the foundational C sharp uh, or Java in any way. So we have to also be careful whoever we are relating with. They may not know what they are saying. They may just be saying whatever. So I think Mr. Michael's answer was very direct. And I'm going to also make some of the highlights that I am taking away from his slides. When he talked about choosing a path is very key. There's a book, if anybody can get their hands on it. It's called From Zero to One. I think Mr. Michael's presentation just summarized that book. It's also from the guy that I mentioned before, Peter Thiel, the one of the co-founder of PayPal. So he wrote that book. It's a hell of a book. I will encourage anyone that want to grow to go through that book. You will learn a lot from it. So and also another thing I am taking away from his presentation, which is also applied, is silencing self-doubt. I've been in company of a lot of guys. A lot of us, when we see Indian guys, you already see. In fact, you have seen results. You've seen technology. So When you see them, being an Indian means you are a tech pro. But it's not always like that. It's just about self belief. If you have worked with them, you will know what I'm talking about. If you have worked with Indian guys closely, there are a lot of them that are very good, no doubt. So are Nigerians. You understand? But it's mostly about just belief that they have. It's not more of what they can really do that much. It's more about the this thing. It's even in technology, in health as well. It's just more about them believing so much in their ability, not so much of their output per se. And we have to have that belief. In as much as we are putting in the work, we need to have the belief in what we can do. Thank you very much, everyone.
Thank you, Mr. Kenny. Thank you. Oh, please, if you still have a question, you can come up with your question so that you'll be cleared. Okay. Now, sense of
Silence is strange. Okay, I think it's
Okay,
past.
since nobody's asking question, I want to ask question.
Okay,
This-
uh,
the
okay,
instructor wants to ask question.
okay, instructor. Interesting.
I
Okay.
already said that I love asking questions. So the topic is climbing the tech ladder. So what do you do when you are trying to climb the ladder and you keep failing? Maybe you set a target for yourself and you're not meeting it year in, year out, you're just at the same cycle. So what will you advise such kind of individual on how to actually, you know, um, get to that level they want to get to? Sometimes the failure could be that maybe after reading for a particular certification, for them to scale higher and they write the exam and they fail. And they, again, they write it down and they fail. So how do you undo failure in the process of trying to, scale the ladder in tech? Yeah, so that's the question.
Okay. Mr. Muiwa want to answer it. Mr. Muiwa Olawale.
Yeah, good afternoon, everyone, and thanks to the co-host and also the host of this program. Yeah, my name is Moyola Wale. So, based on that question, I will use my own experience to answer that question. So, a couple of times I have failed, let me say, in terms of academics, yeah, before getting to my higher institution. So, it gets to some point that I said I'm not going to school at some point, that I'm not going to school anymore. But something keep telling me that you can do it, you can do it. So then I was already old, let me say about 25 years of age before I got my admission then. But it didn't stop me. The thing is that you have to keep trying. It's at the point that when you stop trying, that you've lost opportunities. That's what I believe. So the moment you don't stop trying, you keep pushing, then I'm sure. I know you as if a kind of person that's trying to a child that is trying to walk. I know at the first time the child will be able to, let me say, just trying to stand up and trying to move. At that point, the child is trying to learn some techniques or some moves for him to able to, or for him or her to start working. So that's how it is. So at the point of that is why I see some child that they don't have the courage to work, and if there is no person there to even let me say encourage them or even give them a kind of nod that you can do this, you can do that, or to just cheer them up. For example, like me, somebody just cheered me up that bro, just like younger brother to me, that bro, you can do this. And from there, I tap into it, and from there I scale through my exams, scale through the my academics. And the same thing goes to my tech journey too. When I started, it was as if I'm just failing woefully. For example, I was starting with Java then. I was like, what is all this gibberish? Well, I was like, what is this? 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 But at the long run, I lost over. I run away from it from 2 years. I didn't touch the code at all. That I can't do this anymore. But the same person that encouraged me, then blessed memory to him, he said, bro, you can do this. That's how I find myself today. Do you get? So What I would say in a nutshell is that the person shouldn't stop. You just keep trying. Something is coming out from that thing. Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Muiwa, for that thought. I will just add to it. So, I think the question that Mr. Michael asks is a compound question. One is that okay, you have tried and you have been consistent. You have been staying. You have stayed loyal and you be consistent. How long should you be consistent? Is it going to be for forever, um, or at some point? At what point do you say that enough is enough? I think I get that question to be that as well. So I think the consistency thing, people misconceive what consistency mean. It's not just about doing the same thing over and over again and you're expecting different results. It's only a fool that would do that. So 2 plus 2 will always be 4, except it's in a different base. If it is a base 10, both of them, it will always give you 4. So, and if you keep adding that, 10 years from now, you always get to 4. So one thing is we have to be able to speak our truth. So we have to focus on our goal, but we need to be able to change some of the formulas that we use that we are using to try to achieve that same goal. So and when you do it, maybe you try to see maybe if you what you're looking at is you want to get a 6, you do have 2 to 2, you are not getting it, you can't get it. So expert, that's why expert view, we know when you say 2 plus 2 you want to get it, you cannot get it except you change one of the 2 to 4. That is why you can get it, or you take both of them the 3. So I'm just talking in terms of just trying to relate it to numerics, but that's how lives actually is. So we have to keep our eyes on the goal, but then we have to. There's no one straight road to that goal. You don't always just focus on one straight road and you are following it. If you follow it once, you want to change this thing, but sometimes it can be very. It can be so that in fact maybe the first your first iteration, your first approach, maybe you're almost there. Maybe just a tiny bit of this thing that you need to change, or maybe when you change a total approach, you even go back lower. But you have to just be able to also relate to people. Thankfully, we're in 2025, and a lot of people have achieved the same goal that you're trying to achieve. Some of them, like Mr. Michael mentioned, it's not so much about what you know, it's not so much about how you know, and sometimes it's not even about how you connect. Sometimes it's about just luck and opportunity sometimes. So maybe you just need to talk to some people that have done it before. How did they do it and all of those things. You want to be able to get, but their truth is different from your own, because you have to be able to marry some of those experiences together to be able to match it to what is relevant to you, and try to use their approach. So when you see sudden change, it's not going to be like a dramatic change. It can be dramatic sometimes, but it's not always going to be dramatic, but you will see a progress. So when you see a progress, you follow through and then you can get there. I've seen people who have failed in one field before and they excel like 100% in another field. Um, there's a colleague of my of somebody that I know. I don't want to mention that, so the person would not eventually know that is the one I'm talking about. He's in about academics, and the person was studying a particular course, and the person could not graduate. He was studying a particular course. He could not. He was there. He couldn't. First year, second year, 3 years, and in fact, um, he, the last year, in university, you have a limit of years you can spend. After that year, you're out. The person had to leave that course and then write a jam again, and then study another course, and then graduate as the best student ever in that other department. This is another person that couldn't graduate. So the problem is not school. Maybe you are just studying the wrong course. So, and the person made it. Is make the wave in that other place, and then so it's just sometimes we need to just be not so tied to our ways of doing things. Uh, we need to be able to change approach and learn from experiences of people who have done something similar, and tap from communities, and then we can get there faster. Thank you.
Yeah, thank you, sir. Mr. Michael. I hope you're okay with the response.
Yes, thanks.
Okay,
Thank
sir.
you.
So thank you everyone for joining in. Before we leave, please, I know internet has been kicking people in and out. So we always drop a feedback form. We've noticed that people don't fill it. And again, okay, Mr. Muwe, I'm going to come back to you in a bit. Again, please, we if you truly believe that this session, is making sense, we would want you to, of course, engage with some of the things that we share on it, and of course, share with your colleague. Um, so we were trying to create a community, and a community of like minds, and be able to support one another uh, in what we're lacking. But we need that momentum, to be able to also encourage us as we work. We don't need it that much. Whether you do it or not, we'll keep doing what we believe we're doing. But of course, we need your bits of course, tell us what we can do better in terms of feedbacks, and of course, share um, what you what you enjoy, not just with us, but with the general public, so people can know more about our community. So, Mr. Muiwa, go ahead. We are out of time, though. I have to state that. And part of the feedback we also want to know is that is it 2 hours okay, or is the time of the day that we're having it is also is it okay? Maybe we can change it from 10 to another time, um, something like that. Mr. Muiwa.
I think it was a former hand.
Oh, okay, okay.
All right, Mr. Kenny. I think your closing thoughts.
Okay, I've closed it already, but I will just close it again. Thank you everyone for coming through. We saw everyone that make it today. We hope to see more of you in the next session. If you have something that you want to also share, feel free to reach out to us, and then we can arrange to, maybe it's a product that you have built that you want us to spotlight, or a product of your company that you want us to spotlight. We would be willing to talk to you on that, and then have you featured in our subsequent session. We hope that the next session is going to even be better. Particularly, I enjoyed this session a lot, just listening in, and I hope everybody do as well. Please do enjoy the rest of your weekend, and of course, stay abreast for the month, for yeah, for next week. Thank you, everyone.